Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Let's get a sound check. How's everything sounding and looking out there? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Let's double check here. Let's see who's in the chat already. I see Netman. How you doing? SMIAUU. What am I cooking today? I'm going to be doing some pork chops with pineapple. MJ Haas, hey. Hey, MJ, I saw your comment about adding the ingredients, and I am going to try and do better at that. Mr. Anthony126, how you doing? Oren. Will Bell, hey, how you doing? Hey, Russell, Raspberry Rock, Off-Grid Cabin, good to see you. Dickie Dad, how's it going? Let's see, who else we got here? Something else is here. Hey, how's it going? Good. All right, so we're looking good. We're sounding good. I mean, last week I know I had some weird music and echo issues. That's not there. Everything sounds okay? Checking? Sounds good? MJ says, yes, you hear me? Good. Hey, Lewis, how are you doing? All right, good. I'm going to take that as a we're doing good. Someone asked a question a minute ago. Who was it right there? What am I cooking today? Let's see, who was it? SMIAUU. I wonder, is that am I supposed to pronounce that or just use the letters? I said I was doing pork chops with pineapple. It's actually going to be some smoked pork loin chops with pineapple slabs and a balsamic pineapple drizzle. I'm going to be smoking and searing those probably about 5 or 6 tonight, and that's going to be for tomorrow's video, I think. So yeah, check that out tomorrow. And let's see, what did I this morning? I don't know. Did anybody see the video I put out this morning? The you can smoke anything video. The potato wedges, those were good. I mean, those potato wedges really turned out good. If you haven't seen it yet, on the I think it was a sweet potato wedges, I had a little bit of an issue in that I forgot one of the spices that I added, and I remembered after I started tasting it. And if you watch that, you'll see what I mean. There was some definite heat in that. Totally unexpected because I completely forgot that I had put that in there. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, MJ, you got a question about warm-up time for the electric smoker. When I'm using the electric, it usually takes about 20 to 25 minutes to get it up to 225, 250. And that's on a normal temperature day, you know, around here, 80-ish. If it's colder, it's going to take a little longer. But usually I give it about 20, 25 minutes. I usually get smoke rolling out of it at about 30 to 35 minutes, you know, unless you've got a lot of wood chips in the box. If it's fewer wood chips, it starts to smoke sooner. Let's see who is. Andres, how are you doing? Smoky Patio. Yeah, you enjoyed that smoked potato wedge video. Yeah, those are good. I mean, they're just like big smoky French fries without the oil. Oh, they were good. Let's see, Will, where were you smoking your first brisket? Your first brisket this morning. All right, is it done, or how far into it are you, and how big is it? Let's see, where are you at? Raspberry Rock Off-Grid. Hey, was that a link to my channel? In which video? I put a link to your channel in, I think it was the last video. I don't know if it was the smoked meatball one or something, but if any of you haven't gone to Raspberry Rock's Off-Grid Cabin channel, go there. He does a lot of great stuff. He's got this beautiful off-grid cabin space that he's setting up at this pond. It's beautiful, and he does some good cooking stuff and some fun stuff there. Yeah. John Enger, how do you properly vent your fire without getting too hot? If you're talking about an offset, it has a lot to do with the amount of fuel and the airflow in. Generally, when I'm using my offset, and remember, this is specific to me. Everyone has their own opinions on stuff like this. Most of them are valid because they've learned to work with them. What I do is I almost always have the vent stack fully open. I control using the inflow, but I don't want to choke it off too much. So really, it's a balancing act between the amount of fuel you have in there and the airflow. Usually you can dial it in pretty good there. What you don't want to do is overload the firebox and stoke that fire so high that you have to choke down that inflow, and then you get a lot of smoke. And that's where you can get some of that bitterness if it's a lot of smoldering smoke, not burning smoke, if that makes sense. Let's see, what else we got here? Something else. You've never seen a sweet potato white on the inside, just the orangey ones. Yeah, see, I think I said it in the video. I wasn't sure what kind of sweet potato it is because honestly, I'm not a big sweet potato fan just when like people bake sweet potatoes and do things. But my wife's cousin, Ev, hey Ev, if you're out there, hi. She suggested, she said, hey, if he's going to do potatoes, try sweet potato one. And I decided to do that. So it turned out really good. In fact, if I had to choose between the russet wedges and the sweet potato wedges, even with the extra spice on those sweet potato wedges, I would go with the sweet potato wedges. They were really good. But yeah, I've seen the orange inside ones too. I'm learning because my daughter likes a lot of different sweet potato things. There's a lot of different sweet potatoes, many different varieties. Yeah. Let's see, 8 pounds. Okay, that's a good size. You're not going to have too much trouble in time with that. I mean, I wish I could find smaller briskets around here, but most of them are usually 12 and above for the packers. I mean, unless you're going with just a flat, sometimes I can get those, but packers around here are hard to get smaller. I wish I could get like a 9-pound one. Let's see, where are we at here? Andres, right, you're thinking of putting in a rotisserie Oklahoma smoker. Are you saying a rotisserie or roaster? I'm not sure what you mean. If you can hit me back in another comment there, are you talking about a rotisserie, the spinny thing inside the Oklahoma Joe? Let's see, you're using an offset, Joe. Longhorn combo. The rain is on your last nerve. Is it raining there? Yeah, smoking in rain's not fun. We have one of those sort of, what do you call them, easy up, little canopy things that I've put up before and covered things when I'm out there smoking if it's raining. And yes, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Not always easy. Hey, Bottle Cap Barbecue. If I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch names as they scroll by in the chat. John Edinger, ever done a swine apple? Well, I don't know. I've never heard that term used that way, swine apple. I'm doing the pork loin with pineapple today. Big, thick pork loin chops. So I'm not sure exactly what it is. Let's see here. Raspberry Rock, am I accepting upvotes on the stream? Raspberry Rock, Russell, he's a great hype guy. Yeah, upvote the stream. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some love. Louis Palomo, the brisket on my intro has an awesome dark red smoke ring. What pit did I use and what kind of wood? In the intro video, I believe that was from the Hot and Fast brisket video. That was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was hickory, but it was on the Oklahoma Joes. And if that was the Hot and Fast one, I think we did that in about, I want to say 9 to 10 hours. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was fast. I did it hot. And yeah, the that smoke ring was really good in that one. Andres, the spinny thing, yeah. On the Oklahoma Joes, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen that attachment. If you're talking about making one for there, I'd like to figure out what you're going to get out of that spinning in the cook chamber, unless you're actually using coals in the cook chamber. I know some people do actually use that with coals in the bottom to direct grill in there. There's no reason you couldn't do that, but in terms of spinning with the smoke and the heat coming up from the bottom, I guess it would work. I'm not sure that you would add too much to it unless you're wanting to keep the food off the cooking grate. Then I could see it. Let's see. Dixie, hi Dixie, how are you doing? Ever try the kettle pizza attachment? I have not. I've looked at it. I have like a list of things that I need to add. And as I mentioned in my last live stream, part of it's a real estate issue and how much space I can take up in my backyard and my side yard. In fact, let me show you real quick here. I'm going to switch over to Smoker Cam that I have trying out on my side here. I don't have the smoker running right now, my electric, but when I'm going to try and do some things remotely out here in a future live stream. So let me switch over. So there is Smoker Cam with my electric outside there right now. And let me switch back here. All right, so we should be back to me now. So I haven't tried the kettle pizza attachment. It looks really interesting. I've done pizzas just directly on the grill, and I've done pizzas on the cast iron griddle on the grill. I did a video about the grilled pizza a few weeks ago, I think. So that is an interesting thing. Let's see. John Ingert's pineapple stuffed with pork tenderloin. Wow, I'm actually doing the reverse, but not stuffed. It's going to be topped with pineapple. But I'll have to try that. That's interesting. Do you have to cook the tenderloin a little bit first before you put it in the pineapple? I mean, I'm assuming you core it out, put the tenderloin in there. Do you have to sear it first? Let's see, Bottle Cap Barbecue. Where do you fall in the beer can chicken argument? Waste of beer, no added flavor? No, I don't think so. I've done beer can chicken a number of times. I don't generally use the beer. I'm not a beer drinker, so that doesn't do anything for me. But I have used liquid in there, especially with a lot of herbs and like fresh rosemary in there. I've gotten the rosemary flavor in the chicken, especially on the inside parts, the cavity. I think it does permeate. If nothing else, I think it does help moisturize that chicken and help keep it moist. I know there's arguments saying it doesn't do anything. My experience is it does some stuff. Let's see. Louis Palomo, all your cooks have an awesome smoke ring. You know, sometimes I'm even surprised by this smoke ring, especially when I'm doing something like ribs. Even those meatballs in that smoked meatball video I did last weekend, they had a smoke ring. So sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it's you really work at it. I find, honestly, that the easiest smoke ring to get is when I'm using the Weber kettle because it's such a contained space that smoke almost builds up a pressure in there and helps penetrate the meat. At least that's what I'm thinking. Let's see. Who we got here? Am I missing? Flannel Guy DIY. Hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. Pizza's great on the grill. Yeah, you get that crispy crust in that. When I did it on that cast iron griddle, that was an awesome crust. It came out really good. MJ House, you do pizza on upside down floor tiles, works great. Like the ceramic floor tiles, just flipped over on the grill. That's an interesting idea. I'd never thought of that. Like I actually have some 18-inch floor tiles in my garage from a remodel we did. That would be an interesting thing to try. Jimmy Sims, hey, how are you doing? Appleton, Wisconsin. You have a joke for you. Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the smoker? Well, if he's crossing the road here, he's ending up in my smoker. Dixie, what are my thoughts on the Blackstone griddle? I've never used one. I don't have one, but man, I've seen people do amazing things with some. There's a channel, Everyday Barbecue. He uses the Blackstone griddle a lot, and he gets some great stuff. He did some, I'm trying to remember when he did it, some ribeyes that he seared on the Blackstone griddle, and they looked really good. Check out his channel. I think it's Everyday Barbecue. But I think it looks like an amazing piece of equipment. I just don't have the real estate for that right now with things that I have in the hopper that I want to get. Number one on that list of things that I want to get next is the 26-inch Weber kettle. Let's see. Jody Antley, you use Dr. Pepper for chicken. You're talking about when you do a beer can chicken, you use Dr. Pepper in there, or do you actually pour Dr. Pepper on it? I could see actually brining some chicken with some water and Dr. Pepper and things like that. That would be interesting. Let's see, John Danger, cordon stuff with rub loin. The whole thing is wrapped in bacon weave. Check it out. If nothing else, that sounds like I could eat that in one sitting easily. I don't know that I could share. Yeah, corny but funny. But it's ending up in my smoker, MJ. Krillis Svensson. Hey, thank you. Am I pronouncing your name Krillis? Krill? I'm not sure. Sweden. Well, just so you know, Krillis, my family on my dad's side, all from Sweden. Am I 50% Swedish? I'm 50% Swedish. His grandparent, my dad's grandparents emigrated here from Sweden, settled in Minnesota, and so that's where that side of my dad's family was from. Ryan Carbone, hey, how are you doing? Plug my literature. This is a cooking channel. Yeah, I write stuff. You can look up my name, Ryan, R-Y-N-E, Douglas Pearson. If you want to look up stuff under my own name, my other is one of my pseudonyms is Noah Man. That's post-apocalyptic stuff. So yeah, I write stuff, but this is my cooking channel. You know, I enjoy cooking. Writing is hard, man. Writing's hard work. Let me tell you. I much prefer cooking. MJ, it absorbs some of the moisture versus the glazed side up. I can see that, yeah. John Edinger, have I ever had issues with my digital thermometer accuracy? Can it be checked or calibrated? On the digital ones that I have, I don't know that there's any calibration. There may be, but I've never looked. When I get a new thermometer, and periodically, like every 4 or 5 months, or unless I feel like something's sort of wacky, I will calibrate them using boiling water. I know some people prefer to use the ice water method. I'm nearly at sea level here, So boiling water method is fine. I just put them in a pot of boiling water, and if they register 212, they're reading about 212. And since 212 is sort of in that range, you know, you're looking at in smoking, you know, that 225 low and slow, or the upper end of like a brisket at 200, it seems like a fairly accurate way to test to me. I did a video, I'm trying to remember if it was last week, and one of them where my instant read thermometer gave me sort of a weird reading. And then when I checked it, the batteries needed to be replaced. And when I retested, reading was fine. So I do test for accuracy using boiling water method, but I don't know about calibrating them. Andres, love my channel. Thank you very much, Andres. I appreciate that. Chills0052, hello, how are you doing? Thanks for coming by. Will Bell, let's see, again, first brisket now. Just put it in the cooler with a blanket at the 7.5 hour mark. Keep it there for 2.5 hours. Yeah, if you've got a good cooler and it's wrapped up, 2.5 hours should be fine. I wouldn't take it too long because, you know, you want to keep some of that retained heat in there when you're serving it and those juices and everything. So yeah, you should be able to keep it nice and wrapped tight. For 7 point, let's see, what size brisket was about an 8 pound, you said? 8 pounds should be fine. Larger briskets you can wrap and keep a little longer. There's a lot more retained heat in there. What's the term? Thermal mass. It just holds it better. Let's see. Sean McGee, hello from Clearwater, Florida. How are you doing there? Nice to see you. Raspberry Rock, you keep asking me to co-write something with you. You know, we'll work on it, Russell. You're in Ontario. That'd be a long distance collaboration. Bottle Cap Barbecue, who are my YouTube inspirations? Well, let's see. Before I started my YouTube channel, there were several channels that I watched, and I still watch. Smoky Ribs Barbecue and Southern Cuisine, Russ over there. I've been watching him for quite a while, and I always love it when he does a crawfish thing, because, man, I love crawfish, and they're just really hard to get here. Yeah, that's one. Malcolm Reed, I've watched Malcolm Reed a number of times, seen him on television. T-Roy Cooks, Troy over there, watched him. So, I mean, I look at those guys and I just enjoy watching them. And I think, you know, it's inspiration in the fact that you look at it and you go, hey, you know, they can do that. Maybe I can do this. And that's kind of the same way I started writing. I remember reading Tom Clancy, Hunt for Red October, and learning that he was just an insurance agent at that time. It was like, you know, I'd had ideas for books, and I thought, well, gosh, if he can do it, maybe I can do it. So, yeah, I mean, inspiration in terms of people showing you, yeah, you can actually do this. And that's what's great about YouTube, is you can take a camera, video something, put it up, people watch it, and people get things from it. You know, I think I said in my last live stream, there's a lot of times I've used YouTube videos, especially in, like, you know, things around the house or my cars, fixing things, and I would have had to take it to a mechanic before, and I just look up a video and there it is. Oren, batteries would be the best place to check first. Yeah, if your batteries are going down in the, if you're talking about the thermometers, that's what happened with my instant read. It was given a wonky reading, and it was like, yeah, change batteries. There it was. Chris Jarshow, hey, how are you doing? Canyon Lake, Texas. Is it hot there right now? I have some friends in Texas, and they're saying it's like just broiling hot. Jim Williams, hey, how you doing? Learned so much from you, and I always look forward to your latest video from Ohio. Thank you, Jim. I mean, I got to be honest with you guys, when I hear stuff like that in live chat or in comments, it's surprising, but it's actually also, it's really meaningful. I appreciate it a lot, because you don't really think about that when you're starting to do something like this, that people are going to watch and go, hey, that helped me. But then I think there's a lot of times I watch stuff and it helps. So it really means something. I appreciate it. Jimmy Sims, let's see. Your question is this: are there any mods for a rotisserie on the Oklahoma Joe Highland? I've never seen one, but I haven't gone looking. I don't know if it was you who asked the question earlier, but someone else asked the question about a rotisserie in the Oklahoma Joes. If you're just going to use a rotisserie on there with indirect, with the smoke coming from the firebox, I'm not 100% sure what you would get out of that. But if you're going to be using it while actually using the cook chamber direct, putting some charcoal in there, yeah, then you've got a big, large space for a rotisserie. But I've never looked. I'm guessing someone out there has done it. I would do a search on it, but I've never seen one personally. Let's see. Bottle cap, very cool. Keep it up. Thank you. I will. Yeah, and hopefully I'm not missing any comments. If I do, you know, try and throw it in there again. John Andrew used to live across the street from Clancy. Never saw him. So was that in Maryland? At that time, I think he lived in Maryland early on, before he got divorced and moved and stuff. Let's see. Something else is your writing is hard. Yeah. I mean, I've been writing for 26 years now, and it never gets easier. I always say I like having written. Writing is hard. It's hard. Chris Jar Show, 104 degrees. 104 degrees is kind of toasty, yeah. We had a 118 degree day here a few weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks back, and next day was 114. That's highly unusual for Southern California where I am, really. Bottle Cap from Phoenix. Yeah, how are you doing there? Roundhouse Ranch Barbecue. Hey there, how are you doing? Welcome. Good to see you. Townsend, Maryland. Okay, yeah, so you were in Maryland, right where Clancy used to live. Yeah, it was surprising when he died. You know, I think it was back in 2012, you know, just kind of out of the blue. Only Chevys, William. Hey, South Florida sea level thing means a lot with boiling water. Yeah, it does. You know, if you're testing the boiling water at, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 feet, you're gonna get a different reading. So you got to look at where you are. You can get the charts online to show what boiling water should be at the altitude you're at and use it to calibrate that way. I'm just lucky that I'm low enough where 212 works for me. Let's see. Mike the bassist. Just want to say you enjoy the videos and help me a lot. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. You play bass? I'm guessing. I've always wanted to be able to play guitar or something like that. I just never had the skill. I played cello when I was in junior high and elementary school. So that's about the limit of my musical ability. Dixie Norris, what do you think the best all-around cooker is? The Weber kettle, hands down. If I could only have one cooker, it would be my Weber kettle, the 22-inch. You can do just about everything on it. I think you can do everything on it. You can direct grill. You can indirect grill. You can smoke. You can cold smoke using the right attachments in there for like what do they call those? A smoke snake, where it's just the sawdust. It's just so versatile, and I get amazing smoke rings and smoke penetration on the kettle. That would be, if I could only have one cooker, it would be that. John Enger, what do you do to kill the time during a long cook? Depends on, you know, what's going on. I may work, I may write during the time, you know, that I'm just sitting there, you know, watching the thermometer to see, do I need to adjust the vents? Do I need to add wood or, you know, knock some ash down? Other times I'll just sit there and relax. You know, I'll sit there with a drink outside, and by drink, you know, for I mean Diet Pepsi or Diet Soda. I don't drink alcohol because I don't have the palate for it. All I taste is alcohol. But I'll just chill. That's generally what I do. Let's see. Where are you going? Bud Light, Daddy One, Johnny, and your wife's Norma are from Houston. Hey, how are you doing? Nice to meet you guys, Houston. I asked someone else from Texas a while ago if it was toasty where they are. Is it toasty in Houston? I mean, I have a couple friends in Texas right now who said it's just really killer hot. You play bass. You practice when you cook. Cello rocks. Yeah, I kind of wish I could still play cello. You know, there's a great movie with Woody Allen where there's a scene in it with him playing cello in a marching band where he's got to pick it up and walk, you know, or run 20 feet every time he plays a few notes. Yeah. Yeah, Roundhouse, love your Weber kettle. Me too. Man, I just love that thing. Bill Schaefer, Central San Joaquin, north of me here. Yeah. Driven through San Joaquin many times, all the way through all the fields and everything up there. Let's see. Las Vegas is hot. Some places may hit 106, 122. Yeah. I like, you know, honestly, I'm a cold weather person, which is odd living in Southern California. You know, maybe it's my Minnesota blood from all my relatives, but, you know, someday I hope to live in a little bit cooler climate where there's actual seasons, because here in Southern California, we have summer and then we have fall winter. That's about it. Generally nothing else. Let's see. Jody Antley. What do I think about the WSM? I've never used one. I know plenty of people that use them and love them. They seem like great pieces of equipment. I can't say you'd go wrong if you were getting one. I just haven't gotten one. I don't have the need for that right now. Like I said, my next thing is going to be a 26-inch Weber kettle. And then after that, I'll probably move up in offsets to a bigger offset. But yeah, WSM, plenty of people on YouTube especially do amazing stuff with that. Brichelli, hey, how are you doing? You like to watch people cook, and it's really cool and fun. I like to have my own kitchen and have a channel for cooking. You're in high school, and you took a culinary class, but the teacher was mean. I hope it's not mean like that guy on, what's his name, Gordon Ramsay? What's that show he does? Hell's Kitchen or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. I had teachers who were mean too, and they were not inspiring. I mean, you can be tough and a great teacher. Mean is different. From Florida, from Florida, Brichelli. Mike the Base is wondering about the WSM. You're torn between the 18.5 and 22.5. Honestly, if there's no difference for you money wise, I'd get the 22.5 inch. There's no real reason not to. I think for those extra 4 inches in there, you're going to be able to do larger pieces of meat. Jody, you're in Alabama, Valley, Alabama. Okay. I have a friend who lives. Hey, Russell Raspberry, doesn't Kim live in Alabama? I think she lives. I can't remember the city name, but I think she lives in Alabama. Another friend of ours, Kim Townsell, who has a YouTube channel. She lives in Alabama, I believe. Around 114 right now in North Texas. Okay, yeah, you got some heat. Jody, you have the 18.5. Wish you got the 22.5 ribs and brisket. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Because the 22.5 WSM is basically a Weber kettle that's big and long. It's 22.5. So you've got all that extra space there. Cato Kayleen, greetings from St. Paul. Is that St. Paul, Minnesota? My family's all from Minnesota. Minneapolis, St. Paul, Alexandria, Morris, all around there. Roundhouse, you love warm weather, but this is just stupid. Yeah, there was a great video of a weather guy on YouTube. I saw it a couple years ago where something went wrong with their weather numbers, and it was like showing temperatures like 1,400 degrees in cities around them, and he was saying, yeah, I believe steel melts at that point. That was funny, but yeah, 114 is stupid hot. Yeah. Dwayne Kolar, hi from Washington State. Hey, thank you. This is Washington State. My daughter is going to be going to school up in Washington next year. Bottle Cap Barbecue. Any recommendations, equipment for entry level channel? I have a listing in my video descriptions of the equipment that I use. But just so you know, if you go back and look at my very, very first video, I think it was the stuff I was doing to my Oklahoma Joe's Highland right when I was assembling it. I filmed that on my iPhone. Now it wasn't great, and I wasn't in it, I don't think. I think it was all just the stuff I was doing. But it's more about the content. If you can work your way up to better equipment, that's great. My equipment's not, super expensive. It's some DSLRs and some, wireless mics and some fairly inexpensive lights. And this setup is, I think I paid $50 for this boom mic on Amazon, some webcams, so it's more about what you do with it. But I have listing in my video descriptions of the actual equipment that I use. Let's see, where are we at here? Wheat, how you doing? Let's see, you just bought a 26-inch Weber. Can't find anyone on YouTube using Fogo Premium Lump Charcoal. Can you help? I use lump charcoal on occasion for direct grilling. That's where I really like it. I don't bother using it for indirect because you're not really going to get any of that sort of hardwood lump flavor off of it. I use Royal Oak hardwood. I've used others. It just really depends on what you can get your hands on. But I'm not sure about what Fogo, is that a brand? I'm not familiar with it. Let's see, Oren, you love your 18 cooks for a family of 2. The hound dog gets a bite too. Yeah, my dogs are always wanting to bite. Yeah. Yeah, I think Raspberry 22.5 is good if you do a lot of offset indirect. You just got the 22.5 and hauled it up to your cabin, didn't you? Yeah, Cato Kalem, same. Let's see. So you are just on not missing, Cato. You're from St. Paul, Minnesota. Yep. My family's all from, like I said, Alexandria, Morris. My dad's family, when he was young, was from a little area called Holmes City, which I don't even know if it's there anymore. We're talking back in the 20s and 30s. Yeah. Kenneth Hefner, hey from San Antonio, smoking a turkey for your annual Thanksgiving summer dinner. All right, 105 right on your backyard. Are you smoking your turkey now for Thanksgiving, or is it Thanksgiving summer dinner? That's interesting. Okay, yeah, I smoked. Let's see, what did I do? I smoked I smoked. Did I smoke a turkey on the Oklahoma Joes? I think I did, and I also did rotisserie turkeys this last Thanksgiving. Really good. Yeah. Or and let's see, Kenneth. Thank you, love my cooks. Thank you, appreciate that. Toast Tin Man, easy cooking. Hey, Northern California. Enjoy the videos doing the Weber kettles. You cook one a lot as well. Yeah, I'm cooking on mine this afternoon to do those pork loin chops and pineapple. Yeah, I'm doing those this afternoon on there, indirect and direct. I may even use cast iron for the pineapple, for those pineapple wedges. Yeah. Bill Schaefer, setting up right now to do a little smoking on your 22-inch Weber. You and me both. Going to be only 99 here today. A little cool spell. Yeah, I think we're lucky right now. We're upper 80s. This later next week, I think we're going to get up into the hundreds again, triple digits. Yeah. Let's see. Old fart, but might as well. Offset? Yeah. Yeah, was that autocorrect or did you just type that? Yeah. Michael Maderos, love your videos. Isn't a recipe, hasn't been a failure yet. Keep it going. Thank you. Well, you know, it's funny. Someone said that. Don't you ever make anything that doesn't work? Pardon me. Yeah, I've made things that didn't work. I just haven't done them on video. A lot of the times I do things ahead of time to make sure they work. You know, if you watched this morning's video, though, you will see that there was an ingredient in the spice that I forgot, and I totally 100% was not expecting to bite into that sweet potato wedge with that amount of heat. So I make mistakes, and sometimes I leave them in the videos, but generally I've either done this before, the thing that I'm making, or I try it out. Because I'd rather make something that works so people can see that and maybe try it themselves. I'll have to put together a blooper video someday. There's plenty of them I have on my computer. Yeah. Yeah, Weber. Russell brought the 22-inch Weber. That's not a bad price, 180 Canadian. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I paid for mine. I think it was 150 US when I got it. Something else is there. Have you ever used Kingsford briquettes with various wood bits in them? I haven't. I've never used the I know what you're talking about, the briquettes that have the embedded hardwood chunks in them. No, I've never tried those. Have you? I'm imagining you're going to get smoke flavor out of them. I prefer just to use the regular Kingsford briquettes in the briquette basket in the Weber kettle when I'm doing sort of an indirect, and put like a longer piece of hickory, maybe about a 6-inch piece of hickory or pecan or whatever it is, right on the coals when they're going to generate smoke. I find that works really well. Roundhouse, you're going to reverse sear a couple fillets this afternoon on your Weber. Oh, enjoy those fillets. I love, oh man, there's just nothing like over charcoal or lump or anything. Just on that grill, it's just so good. And it's funny, I mean, I have a gas grill and I do cook on that, but I find that people want to see things that are done, you know, on the Oklahoma Joe's or in the electric smoker or on the Weber kettle. The gas grill is there. It's almost like utilitarian. It's like just using the burners in your kitchen, which I've used for videos before too. But I don't know. I much prefer charcoal. Yeah. The stats are stuck for you. Still shows 5 viewers. I haven't even looked at the stats. I don't know how many people. I'm not that concerned with something like that on a live stream. I think it's just fun to interact. Roundhouse Ranch Barbecue. You have and you love them. Oh, you've used those briquettes with the wood. I'm gonna have to look for those. Honestly, I've seen them before, but I haven't seen them recently when I went down and picked up charcoal. I'll have to check them out. Russell Raspberry Rock. You've done whole videos that were mistakes. Did you do a blooper video, or are you just talking about your regular video? Your videos aren't mistakes. They're fun. Kenneth, have I used coconut briquettes in your cooks? I have not. I saw those, or you saw it on Amazon. I saw those too. It's funny how, I don't know if your recommendation came up, but I had that as a recommendation of something, coconut briquettes. No, I've never tried them, but it'd be interesting. Lolandir, hello from Norway. Thank you. Love my videos. Your favorite moments are when you can't stand upright. I actually have had a couple moments like that, man. Sometimes you bite into a piece of food, and especially ribs to me. If you get a good rib and it's just turned out and you've worked on that, because, you know, ribs take 5 or 6 hours generally. You've invested time in them, and you bite into those things, and if it is a weak knee moment at times. I mean, look, I love food. My body is built by barbecue, for anyone who's seen me. So, yeah, I enjoy some good moments like that. Let's see. Yeah, you wish you had more choices for charcoal in the UK. I've heard the same thing. People talk about, sort of like a wasteland for barbecue equipment and stuff in the UK, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of people on YouTube who comment on things from the UK, and they just love barbecue. Let's see. All the smoke you made, you buy a Traeger, works very well, but with the pellets used from Traeger, not much smoke takes. You have to look for some other pellets to get the same moments like you. There's different brands, and sometimes that is a testing to see what you're getting out of it. Also, I don't have a pellet grill, but I do understand from people that have them that humidity can play a big deal in that too, depending on how humid it is where you are, moisture in the air. But yeah, experiment with different pellets. That's what I've heard people do. They find ones that really work for them and they stick with them. Jimmy, you have an Oklahoma Joe's Highland, raising the smoker a little bit so the grease goes into the grease can. Have a new River Grill 37. Are you talking about when I did the leveling video to show how to kind of level it, get just a little bit of run towards the drain? Yeah, you can do that on any grill that has a drain. You should be able to sort of guide it. And I just put little steel wedges under my wheels on one side to keep it up and get that drain. Yeah, should you raise the grill like a smoker? Yeah, if you've got a drain in it, you should. I mean, if you're talking about one that has like a catch thing, yeah, you want to make sure it goes to that. A lot of them have a tray with a built-in sort of angle that drains into that cup, but you've got to sort of adjust it that works well for you, but without like turning it so the grates are like this and stuff rolls. Raspberry Rock, if you could cook his, you have 400 pounds, and you want me to move near you and cook for you, you've said before? You want to be 400 pounds? Let's see. Hilbert Grivnet, have I ever tried the Weber briquettes? I haven't. No, I've almost exclusively used Kingsford, and it's honestly for no reason other than I'm used to them. They're usually readily available here at a very good price. I'll get sometimes 36 pounds of Kingsford briquettes for about $10. When they're on sale, and that's just sort of a no-brainer, and I've never had a problem with them. I know some people don't like them. They say there's too much ash. I've never had a problem with that. I'm not opposed to trying other ones, but part of it's a price thing too. I really would want to know that you're getting something out of spending more that's appreciable in the flavor of what you're cooking or the length of time it's burning. And honestly, sometimes you're a creature of habit and you just like what you like, and that's kind of me. Weed Edge, have I ever had a storm drop your temp when smoking a pork butt turn out not cooked all the way? I haven't had it not cook all the way. I've just had to go it a little bit longer. If you've ever watched my brisket overnight cook video, that I had to deal with unexpected wind all night long. It was horrible, and that really affected that cook because I was burning so much wood just to keep up with the backdrafting. I couldn't turn my smoker to get away from it. There was just no way. The wind was swirling in my backyard, and we were getting like 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds. There was so much wood being burnt to keep the temperature up. My firebox was filling with ash, and I had to just keep scraping it out and scraping it out. That was you can be affected by the weather. You have to kind of deal with it. Kingsford Original Pro Bag and burns hotter here in the desert, use less fuel. I'll look at it and see if what the price is and stuff like that. But again, for me, it's kind of like, is it worth the extra money when I can get 36 pounds for $10 of Kingsford? And it usually the Kingsford, if I'm smoking, is just there for some heat. It's not for flavor. If I'm smoking, it's the wood that's going to help with the flavor. If I'm doing direct grilling, then it's over the the briquettes. Let's see, Kato, you discovered the same thing with the Traeger pellets, no flavor, switched to lumberjack pellets, and it was incredible. There you go, lumberjack pellets. Give something like that a try. I'm sure there's other brands and flavors to try. Yeah, Russell, you'll take that chance. If you could move here, we could totally do forest smoking videos. Yeah, if you haven't, again, I'm plugging my friend Russell's Raspberry Rock off-grid cabin channel. You can just click on his name, the little 3 dots, go to channel, check him out. Subscribe. He does fun stuff. He's got some great dogs at his off-grid cabin. And when he says off-grid cabin, he's off-grid. How many clicks are you from the road, Russell? 2 or 3 clicks from the road? He has to ride his ATV to get into the cabin. It's on this beautiful pond. Just gorgeous. I can't wait for your autumn and winter videos this year, Russell. Bottle Cap, any interest in competition barbecue? No. I've had people ask me that. I am not set up for competition in my mind, in the way I look at things. I cook for pure enjoyment. And, you know, in terms of what I've done in my life, in terms of work, writing, especially in film and screenwriting, things like that, in many ways that's competition, because you're always up against other people for work and jobs and stuff, and I don't like it. So I'm just more of a do it for me thing, but I like watching competition barbecue, that's for sure. I like eating it too. Roundhouse Ranch, you did a video where you compared Kingsford and Brookshire's store brand charcoal. The results were more dramatic than you expected. Okay, I'll check it out. Roundhouse Ranch. Let's see, Dickie Dad, you have a Traeger as well. Might have to give lumberjack pellets a try. Yeah, I mean, that's what I also like about live streams and things like that, not just on my channel, but other ones. You get someone that brings something up, and then other people are able to chime in and have suggestions. I mean, that's awesome. And I would have never known that since I don't have a pellet grill. Let's see, you're going to be doing bottle cap. Roundhouse, you're going to be in your first competition in October. Nice. Yeah, that's, I mean, I couldn't do that. I'm not wired for that. I don't even know what my food would turn out like. Wow. Floppy, Kenneth, yes, floppy bacon. That's, how do people eat it so crisp? It just shatters. You want some of that floppy flesh there. Let's see, Lowlander, how high can you go with internal temp on a pork belly? You stopped at 158, afraid it would get dry if you went higher. Tasted good, but it wasn't very tender. Let's see. Okay, I'm off the top of my head. Okay, I did a pork belly video where I did a pork belly sandwich a while back. I don't have the link in front of me right now. That one I actually did. I think I had a probe in it. You know, pork belly is one of those things. 158 is not, what did you say you were at? 158. No, 158 is not too high on pork belly. No, that's not. I think I took the pork belly at least to 160, and it might even have been higher. So if you want to check that video out, I think it's like a pork belly sandwich I did. I can't remember the specific name of the video. But 158 is not too high for pork belly. Think about it, when you're doing pork belly burnt ends like I did for that street taco video last weekend, or no, during the week, you're taking the pork belly higher. You're really just trying to render that fat all the way down. It's pork. You know, like pork butts, you can take up to 190s, you know, even 200 when you get into pulls. So that should not be any problem with it. Part of it is keeping it, you know, good rub on it with sauce if you're going to be making burnt ends, but 158 shouldn't be a problem with it. Let's see. Yeah, and if it's not very tender, also Lowland deer, am I pronouncing that right? Lowland deer? If it wasn't tender, it needed more time. You know, also you can put it in a foil pan with sauce, some apple juice, things like that. Seal it up tight in a foil pan, back on the grill indirect, and let it have a couple hours doing that to tenderize. George Fountain, any tips for keeping bugs away when you're outdoor area? Fortunately, in our area, about the only bugs I have to deal with when I'm outside are wasps. Don't have to deal with mosquitoes very often, things like that. But, you know, most bugs don't like smoke. So if you can generate enough smoke, it might help. But yeah, I don't have to deal with that, fortunately. I just have to deal with dogs that want to run up and eat my food. Let's see. Lowland Deer, thank you for tips. You can get your hands on that brand in Norway. Let's see. Yeah, for me, barbecuing is purely for pleasure. You have no head for fighting the clock. Let's see. Okay. Gotcha, Russell. Let's see. Michael. Where are we at here? I'm trying to catch up. Have I ever considered trying Komodo style grill? Yeah, I have. It's not high on my list of things to get. Like I said, my next thing that I'm going to get is a 26-inch Weber kettle. After that, I'll probably be moving up in offsets to either a Yoder or a Lang, something like that, a larger size. I'm not opposed to getting you know, Komodo style grill ceramic. I'd like that, actually. I'd have to do a little more investigating to pick. There's a lot more choices now than there were just even, you know, 5 years ago. You see this bottle cap, your first year, you got 3 under your belt doing your first SCA in October. Nice. So you're actually really getting into this. Nice. Let's see where we at here. First gun. You had, let's see, can you use the lumberjack pellets and a Camp Chef pellet smoker? That's a good question. I don't know. Has anyone answered that? Can you use lumberjack pellets and a Camp Chef pellet smoker? B. Thomas is asking that. Bottle cap, you had walls in all categories at your first, gone downhill from there, but you love it. Okay. Walks. Okay. Well, that's not bad then. Let's see. Oh, Russell, thank you. Super chat. Appreciate that. $5 Canadian, man. I'm going to go out and have to get something Canadian with that. Actually, my daughter's coming up to Canada over Thanksgiving, Russell. She's going to be over in Vancouver. So we just found a bunch of Canadian money left over from our last trip like 10 years ago to Canada. So that was pretty fun. But thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. Roundhouse Ranch Barbecue. Got to run. Nice chatting with you. Thank you, Roundhouse. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Lowland Deer is just a gaming name. Oh, use your real name, Eric. Okay, Eric's a little easier, but yeah, thanks for it. Okay, take your pork, man. Get your pork chops and eat them, man. Enjoy it. Cato, yes, you can use lumberjack pellets in any pellet smoker. So there you go. Someone who's used it before. Nice. All right, we're going. I've got about 10 more minutes, and then I've got to kind of cut out of here so we can keep going here. Nice. Yeah, so today, this afternoon, with those pork chops, and I said I think this video is going to be up tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to be taking pork loin, and it's, you know, not a tenderloin, so it's a little bit thicker, and cutting those into pork loin chops, and I'm going to actually shoot for like 3-inch chops. So we're going to smoke them indirect for a while first, and then sear them off, and then top them with this balsamic pineapple glaze and pineapple slab. So yeah. Do I go online for my wood, or do I have a local wood supplier? I have a local wood supplier. It's called the Woodshed in Orange County, California. They also do online sales, I believe, but they're about 15 minutes from me. That's where I buy all my stick wood and some chunk wood. If I just need bags of wood chips for the electric smoker, I'll run down to Home Depot or Orchards or something and buy what's on sale. Bottle cap. Traeger's the only cook that says to only use your own brand in the rig. You have a CMG, use whatever pellets you feel like. Yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, and that's in a lot of things where a company says it's only designed for what we provide. Is that really true? I think experience from a lot of people shows that in most instances it's not. Of course they want you to buy their own thing. That would be like Weber saying you can only use Weber briquettes in our kettle. Nothing else will work. I don't think that would work. Yeah. Yeah, but no, my local wood supplier, if you're anywhere in Orange County, California, the Woodshed, Orange County, is just really good people, great wood selection. That's where I got that olive wood that I used on those short ribs a couple videos back, probably about 4 or 5 videos back, and that's awesome. If you can get your hand on good olive wood, do it. It's amazing. Let's see. Where would I go for barbecue in my area if not doing it myself? Well, there's a number of barbecue places around here. There's a place in not too far called Big B's, and they do really good ribs. It's, they also have a bar attached to the side, but it's called Big B's. They have ribs. They're kind of what they're for. There's a couple. I'm trying to think of the name of another place. It's down in Orange, which isn't too far from me. For the life of me, I can't remember it right now, but they have good barbecue and actually really good. They make catfish hush puppies, which are really good. So I just kind of, find what's around and go there. There's a place people like around here called Blake's. But honestly, I prefer to make my own. Yeah. Michael, you watched the chicken salad vid last night. Looks great, but you're not a mayo fan. I'm not a big mayo fan. I think I said it in the video. I'm not a big mayo fan either, but in there it kind of works. I've heard people, I'm not sure this sounds appetizing. I've heard people use things like a Greek yogurt in there. I think that gives a little bit of a different flavor to it, obviously. But if anyone has any suggestions for mayo substitute, I know my friend Russell would say Miracle, and he just did Miracle Whip. I don't know. My wife is like so anti-Miracle Whip, and I'm just not a mayo guy, so I don't know. And thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that video. Doug, when am I going to give us beers that go best with smoked meats? Doug, I don't drink. What can I do? I don't drink beer. I don't really drink anything. I can't get... all I taste is alcohol. Hey, Doug, how about Budweiser? Adam, just saw the song. Great channel videos, man. Finishing up your UDS. Nice. Are you building an ugly drum? Nice. Great. Did you get the kit to do it? Is that what it is? Bottle cap. Famous Dave's. Puke. Actually, Famous Dave's, there was a Famous Dave's restaurant not too far from us here. I like the rub, man. I use that Famous Dave's rub all the time. I like that stuff. And it's funny, I think the Famous Dave's closed. It was down in Orange, not too far from me. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, but no to raspberry. I can't do it. Is it anti-Miracle Whip? Maybe? I'm not sure. I think the experience is important, but if you use the Traeger pellets, my camp shelf will run 50, 100 degrees plus or minus. Really? That big of a difference for those? Is it? See, I'm not that familiar with pellet grills. I know people that have and love them. I've just never used them. You know, are the pellets different sizes? Any tricks? Let's see, Ralph Crisp. Any tricks to get more smoke in the Charbroil Electric? Okay, so the thing about the Charbroil Electric is if you want more smoke, you're going to need to do longer smoke in there. And they don't recommend, you know, removing the box once you've started and emptying it out and putting fresh chips in. I have done that, you know, with gloves and everything like that. That's an option, but they don't recommend it. Really, it's experimentation. And it's also with what type of wood chip you're using. Like, I find that if I'm using hickory, I can get probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours of smoke out of that wood box that's 3/4 full. If I use pecan in there, it's going to go much faster. It depends on the type of wood, but really it's, you know, you've got to measure how much wood you're having in there. I find about 3/4 is the best. If you fill it too full, it's going to take too long for all that to start heating up and actually smoldering and smoking. Let's see, where are you going here? Charbroil Electric. Go with avocado. Interesting. Some almost like a guacamole mix in there instead of that. Miracle Whip is magic goodness. Russell, you've got some fans here. You'll fill in for me, Doug, with Budweiser. I told you I'm not a beer drinker. I don't know what's there. Adam, so you're building it from scratch. I've seen those ugly drum kits. Those are awesome. Nice. That'll be cool. Avocado it is. Okay, I'd be interesting to see if someone does that with avocado. In fact, I may have to try that. That's an interesting try. Got to run, Michael. Thank you, Michael, for stopping by. Thank you. Yeah, but Patrick Russell still don't take over the Mayo world. He is the priest of Miracle Whip. What do I think about Phil's Barbecue, Alejandro? Phil's Barbecue. Which Phil's are you talking about? I'm not familiar. Are you talking about a channel, or are you talking about an actual location, Phil's Barbecue? Or is that a brand of something? Wheat. Let's see. As far as bugs, you live in Georgia. Oh man, you get bugs. I had friends that lived in Georgia before, and they talk about that. Yeah, I even have some citronella candles out back, but we almost never have to use them. We just don't get mosquitoes and things like that here. Miracle Whip fans unite. You need to get shirts made, Russell. Bottle cap. In any cooker, smoke at the lowest temp for an extra hour or two at the start. Cook longer, but add the smoke. Yeah, if you can do in the electric smoker, just keep it at 220, 225, and just let that go. Let it. And the other thing about it is the smoke doesn't always start when you hit your target temp there. So if you can hold off putting the meat in until smoke starts rolling, you're going to have it right at the beginning. If you start cooking the meat earlier while it's still building up to that smoke rolling out, you're sort of pre-cooking the meat before the smoke is actually in there. So wait until the smoke starts rolling to put the meat in on the electric. That's what I do. You're not getting much smoke at all. Are you getting good temperatures? Because I had issues with my Charbroil Electric. In fact, I did videos on diagnosing problems and replacing the heating element. Make sure you're getting good temperature in there, not by using their internal probe. Use your own sort of meat thermometer probe, like a Thermopro or something, to make sure you're getting accurate temps and that heating element is actually working and heating that box. All right, Bill Schaefer, you got to cut out and get smoking done. Get out there and smoke, man. What are you doing here? Go smoke. Go smoke. Alejandro, you're in San Diego. Nice. Spent many a day in San Diego. Many a time in San Diego. Been down to the fish market restaurant down there, the Midway. Used to go down to the Star of India when I was a kid. Man, we spent a lot of time down there. Yeah, let's see, Oren, Phil in Florence. Yeah, are you talking about Phil in Florence? I love Phil's channel. He's a great guy. If you're talking about Phil in Florence, man, that's why I love Phil. You're in Florida. Get some this weekend. Yeah. Thanks much. John, have you ever baked or made anything sweet on your smoker? Just did a video I put out this morning. Did some sweet potatoes that I smoked in the electric smoker. I've grilled, let's see, I guess it's not really smoking, grilled some cake. I don't know if I've really done anything that's be considered just sweet, and other than just a very sweet rub or sweet barbecue sauce on the meat. That'd be interesting to try. Let's see. Raspberry, do you ever soak your wood in water before you smoke? It depends on the smoker. Like Charbroil in their wood box says don't soak the wood. The Masterbuilt smokers, they soak the wood. For offsets, no. For the kettle, no, I don't soak the wood. I only soak it if it says to smoke it. Garza Ride, do a video on dinosaur ribs. If I could get dinosaur ribs, I'd love to, but we have a real hard time in this area of getting good large beef ribs. I can get short ribs, I can get some back ribs, but they're not the big ones. So I need to actually find a good source of them that's consistent, because I've had people say, oh, go to Costco and get them, and then you get to Costco and they're gone. You know, they don't always have them, but I'd love to do some, you know, big dinosaur ribs. I'll mess with dinosaur DNA when I want, Russell. What flavor I use for chicken? My favorite for chicken is pecan. I've used hickory. I like that too, but pecan is probably my favorite. I've used just about everything. Applewood is really good. You know, I've tried different fruit woods, but I'd have to say pecan is my favorite for chicken. Yeah. Been something like 5 movies on why that's a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah. But let's try it again. You know, Jurassic Park 20. What requires a pellicle versus a fish is one? Yeah, I mean, the only one thing I know about is like when you're developing the pellicle on salmon, when you're doing, I think it's a cold smoking, you're basically leaving the fish sitting in the refrigerator to develop that sort of, that skim, that film on the outside. That's, I think it's called the pellicle, isn't it? Before you generally cold smoke it. I don't know if you do that when you're hot smoking. I've never done preservative smoking for any fish or salmon or anything like that. I just smoke it to eat it. So you're hot smoking it, give it smoke flavor, take it out and eat it. I did that video a few weeks back on smoked salmon. That turned out really good, that maple smoked salmon. Was it maple smoked? I know I used maple glaze on it. Can't remember what smoke I used. Let's see. Hilbert, you make your pork belly today. Sounds like good. Thanks for the recipe. Yeah, great. Go for it, man. Pork belly. Pork belly is like candy when it's cooked right. It is just so good. Kenneth, on my offset, do I cover it when you're not using it? Just leave it out in the elements. If it's any chance of inclement weather, I cover it. I have a cover for all my cookers, or a place to put them under cover. If you'll notice, you may have seen in some of my Oklahoma Joe videos over the past couple months, there's a lot of rust, surface rust on the firebox side. I'm going to be doing a video in the next couple months on removing that and repainting the firebox. Because the paint that honestly that comes on it, it's a consumer grade smoker. It's totally fine, works great with some of the mods, but it's consumer grade. So the paint on it is not going to handle that. That paint bubbled up and was gone within 2 cooks. You know, it burned right off. So I'm going to be using a higher temp paint. I was originally going to use some header paint, but I've heard some difficult things about that, about curing it. So I'm just going with a 1200 degree barbecue paint on it and see if that works before I decide to go through the extra hassle of using header paint, which I think you have to paint it, let it cool, then heat it up a little bit, then go back, let it cool, paint it again, multiple coat, multiple heating process. Yeah. Michael Medeiros, my friends love Spiceland. Consider trying them out. If he wants me to try them out, just he can hit me up in the email in my about thing on my YouTube page. You can click the about tab and go down there. There's a thing to click to get an email link. He can send me an email and check it out. I can't promise anything. You know, I get a lot of things that people send me emails saying, hey, will you try this out and review it in this? So far I've done nothing. I haven't taken up anybody on anything, even if they're offering free stuff. And it's not because I don't want to do that. It's just I want to make sure those things fit the channel and what I'm doing. And you know, that the people they're coming from are reputable. So I'd look at it for definitely. Bottle cap. Let's be honest, only two movies. The other 3 are just regurgitated. Doesn't that apply to a lot of things? Like, how many Spider-Man movies have there been? I mean, come on. And you just keep recycling different Spider-Man. You never soak the wood in your Masterbuilt. See, no, when my Masterbuilt, it said on the thing, soak the wood, and I've only done it soak the wood. But I haven't pulled my Masterbuilt in a long time. So you've never smoked yours, or you've never soaked your wood in your Masterbuilt? Well, I'll have to try that next time I pull it out. John, you were thinking maybe an apple pie might be an interesting flavor in a smoker with a nice fruit wood. That actually would. I did some bread pudding in a cast iron Dutch oven last year. Did a video on it, and I got to tell you, if you like bread pudding, man, that was the best bread pudding I've ever had. It was just so good and so simple. If you have a cast iron Dutch oven, or even you could probably still even do it in just a cast iron pan with some foil on top. Man, it was good. It was really good. But yeah, apple pie smoked would be good. Now I did a I think it was last year, might have been at the end of last year. I did a bourbon soaked apple recipe on the grill. I don't think I smoked them. I did them in cast iron. Yeah. Let's see. Can't argue. Cherry is great on fowl. Nice color. Same on ribs or hickory. Yeah. I mean, there's very few woods that I would not like transfer. Like, you know, use this wood on this and everything. Mesquite is one of the ones that I will use on beef. I don't like it on fowl. I don't like it on chicken. Patinia is good. Are you talking about beer, Doug? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you still trying to get me to drink beer? To drink anything? Andres, you've seen some videos that use high temp engine spray paint. Yeah, that's the header paint that I'm talking about. From what I understand on it, though, you're supposed to do, like I said, a spray, then let it cool, or spray it when it's cold, then heat it up to like 200 degrees, then let it cool. Give it another coat, heat it up to 400 degrees, let it cool, give it another coat, heat it up to 600 degrees. So it's a multi-step process from what I've read, and to get it right so it'll last. If I can get it to just work with a 1200 degree paint, I'd be happy. I don't know if it will. I'll have to see. You know, it's also much less expensive than the header paint. But I'll give it a try. Yeah, I'm going to be, let's see, it's like, got to be heading out of here in a few minutes. So hit the thumbs up. Thanks, Russell, for reminding me. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't yet. I appreciate all the help and the love. The orange use a Permatex rust inhibitor for a paint. Okay, I'll check that out. Yeah, I've got to give it a good sanding down, knock all the old paint off and everything. Yeah. MJ, what coal setup do you use for direct grilling? No stone pizza. I honestly, I would either use lump that I have. I just have some Royal Oak lump. I've done it over just briquettes too. I'm not too picky on that because it's that underside, you know, you're just wanting that crispness. But I got to tell you, I love doing, you know, grilled pizza on the cast iron on the Weber because you just get such a crispiness on that crust right away. And I know you can get that direct grilling too, but I just love cast iron. And yeah, so anybody, I got to head out. I appreciate you all. Hit the thumbs up button. And I just really thank you for coming and spending the time with the live chat. I'm hoping to do this like every weekend. I can't promise it, but I want to make sure I do it regularly. So thanks a lot, everybody. Take it easy. Have a great day. Get out there and smoke.